Eat your Wheaties, kids, and you might end up just being the next governor of California and a member of the opposite sex. President Biden came up with a new URL. It's .gum. And Kamala comes up with more faux reasons for the border crisis. Another week of madness. I am Rob Carson. President Biden once again hit the podium to tout vaccination and directed people to go to a non-existent website for more information.
I'm going to repeat. We're going to make it easier than ever to get vaccinated. Visit vaccines.gum.
.gum? Do you mean dadgum? That thing you say when you hit your head occasionally or stub your toe?
.gov. Vaccines.gum.
No, it's okay.
Or text to...
Oh, this should be good.
Text your zip code to...
Or zip your text code.
438...
Dadgum, I can't get my brain to work.
8829. 438829.
Did you get that? Because I have no idea what he just said.
Walk into your local pharmacy without an appointment.
He also reiterated that fighting and dying for your country is not as patriotic as wearing a surgical mask everywhere you go.
Masks have needlessly divided this country.
Yeah.
Masking, as directed, is a patriotic duty.
He said duty.
But so, too, is treating each other with respect and patience.
He also confused the Centers for Disease Control with the CCD, which many Catholic kids attend before their confirmation. I know, because I was one.
That's why I'm asking people to continue to follow the CDC guidelines.
Or you can go to CCD.
As we work to get more people vaccinated.
Again, I'm a little confused. Once again, he dangled the carrot of the possibility you could enjoy Independence Day with a small group of paranoid, vaccinated, and socially distant people.
35 million people to hit 70%. Why not set that target for 75% or 80%?
Well, I'd like to get it 100%, but I think realistically we can get to that place between now and July 4th. And by the way, it's not like July 4th, the door's closed.
Oh, no. We could be absolutely paranoid and terrified and well into the election year.
It's just I picked July 4th to try to get to a place where we get back closer to normal. And so,
I think we're at least 3.5 years away from normal.
We're going to be vaccinating people into next fall. This is not going to something all of a sudden July 4th where we're going to just declare it's over.
Oh, no, the government still has years to stoke more fear and paranoia in you. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, whose executive order to place COVID-positive patients in nursing homes, resulting in thousands of deaths, warned if you're young and you don't get vaccinated, you could do the same thing he did to other people's grandmas.
Who are the groups we're targeting on the vaccination? Youthful and the doubtful.
How about politicians who are full of,
And there is an attitude that they'll be fine. Why should they take the vaccine? Maybe you will get a long haul syndrome that
when does the next crop of interns come in?
Not really sure what it is.
I look forward to it like an Amazon package.
Yet, but a lingering consequence of COVID. Or maybe you go home and kiss your grandmother and wind up killing your grandmother.
And remember, kids, that grandma could be a wolf dressed up to look just like your grandma. It's happened. Former President Barack Obama even got in on the get your shots kids train by referring himself as just plain old Barack.
Hi, everybody. It's Barack. Now that
How you doing there, Barack? I'm just going to walk up to him someday to say, hey, Barack, what's going on? And then, of course, I'll be tackled by like 8 Secret Service agents.
American over the age of 16 is eligible to get the vaccine.
He's so cool for an almost 60-year-old dude.
I want to talk about you getting yours. The vaccine is safe, it's effective, it's free. I got one. Michelle got one.
You're still trying to convince children to have someone stick a needle in their arm.
People you know got one. And now you can get one too.
Barack, it's still not going to be cool for him.
It's the only way we're going to get back to all the things we love.
Like not wearing a freaking mask everywhere we go.
From safely spending time with grandparents.
Imagine that.
To going to concerts and watching live sports.
And remember, those grandparents could be wolves dressed as grandparents.
So get the vaccine as soon as you can.
I will there, Barack. Washington, D.C. had a resurgence or maybe another strain of the stupid that's been going around as Mayor Muriel Bowser banned dancing and just standing around, seriously, at weddings and wedding receptions.
We're all just completely shell-shocked.
D.C. is loosening some pandemic restrictions, but at a news conference Monday, wedding planners say the mayor sneaked in a bombshell. The latest order allows indoor weddings at 25% capacity,
Which will save a lot of money on catering.
or 250 people. But standing,
Don't say that to your fiance. She will slap you in the face.
dancing receptions are not allowed.
There's hardly been any time to even react, other than being incredibly frustrated and angry with Washington, D.C. and
Can we also do the really dumb stuff like catching the bouquet and catching the garter and the dollar dance?
Mayor Bowser for
Nope, it said dance. No, you can't do that.
completely blindsiding us.
When I asked the city about weddings a month ago, a spokeswoman said that the health department is continuing to readjust and reassess,
And remake up.
but that the top priority is safety of residents and visitors.
You can't keep the cha-cha slide down, man. I think we all know how this will end. People rebelling and dancing with extreme exuberance. From Footloose, 1984. These are kids who apparently have never danced before. Coming up, are you ready for some hot sake? White House spokesperson Jen Psaki blames the border crisis on the Trump administration. I know, crazy, right? And we are back. Make sure to check out the daily audio podcast, the Newsmax Daily with this guy, Rob Carson. You can check it out by going to newsmaxtv.com/podcasts. Happens every day. It's really fun. White House spokesperson Jen Psaki says that even though Joe Biden has issued 94 executive orders dismantling the successful Trump administration border policy, the border crisis Biden created is still Trump's fault.
I wanted to provide a brief update on the situation at our southern border.
And she's talking up, which means she's probably not telling the truth.
After 4 years of an immigration system rooted in destructive and chaotic policies,
No, not really. It actually slowed the illegal entry into the country by 85%.
President Biden is taking the challenge head on and is building a fair, orderly, and humane immigration system.
But he stopped building the wall.
That's our objective. After coming into office, our administration immediately jumped into action.
I believe they also said that there were no vaccines, but there were actually 2.
To address the influx of migrants at the border, something that began during and was exacerbated by the Trump administration.
No, actually, it's the worst it's been in 20 years, and that was before Donald Trump was the president. I have proof of that coming up in a second.
And wanted to provide a couple of pieces of data you may have seen, but they've come out
You are one piece of data.
since the last time we had a briefing in here. At the end of March, there were more than 5,000 children in Customs and Border Protection Patrol stations. Today, that number is approximately 600.
And the rest of them disappeared into the general population to never show up for court dates and never be seen again. The talking points trickled down to U.S. Secretary of State Blinken. Even CBS Norah O'Donnell called him out on it.
In March, more than 170,000 people were taken into custody. That's the highest in 20 years.
Now, that's actually the highest since before Donald Trump was president.
Are the policies of the Biden administration to blame?
No, what we're
Of course not.
seeing is indeed a surge of people to the border. We've seen that in the past, but we inherited a totally broken system.
But it's the worst that it's been in 20 years.
Broken intentionally. And it takes time to fix it. And by the way, our message is very clear. Don't come. The border is not open.
Oh, yeah. Things are becoming very clear every single week. It's very clear. You guys are completely screwing up the country. Kamala Harris, who's been put in charge of the border nearly 40 days ago and hasn't been there or had a formal presser, knows all the reasons why illegals are streaming here, and there are a whole lot of them.
And so we are focused on addressing both the acute factors and the root causes.
Okay, so there's factors and causes.
Migration.
Okay.
And I believe this is an important distinction. We must focus on both.
The factors and the reasons.
First, the acute factors.
They are those cute little factors.
The catastrophes that are causing people to leave right now.
Okay. Like what?
The hurricanes.
Which one? I actually haven't heard of one.
The pandemic, the drought, and extreme.
We've got the pandemic here.
Food insecurity. And then there are the long-standing issues.
I thought it was climate change.
The root causes.
The root causes.
And I'm thinking
the root, not the acute.
Of corruption, violence, and poverty. The lack of economic opportunity. The lack of climate adaptation and climate resilience.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is this week, I guess, that are causing people to come here. It's certainly not policy. And the solution to this problem is, of course, to send millions and millions of dollars to corrupt government officials in the Northern Triangle and Mexico that will never reach the population.
And for our part, the United States has announced that we will send an additional $310 million to the region. Departments and agencies across our federal government
Maybe you could put it on pallets and put it in a plane and send it to like they did to Iran.
are joining in this effort. The United States Department of Commerce is planning a virtual trade mission.
Or you could just go back to the Trump policies. That could be actually done by tomorrow. Kamala Harris also went to Milwaukee to the Clean Energy Laboratories, and the woman who garnered 81 million votes with Joe Biden brought more SUVs than there were fans showing up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. By the way, no fans showed up. There were only 4 protesters. Wow. The CIA, which is one of the firewalls between us and our enemies, created a new woke recruitment ad that features a millennial who's really full of herself and possibly mentally ill.
Nothing about me was or is tragic. I am perfectly made.
See what I said about being full of herself? She's perfectly made.
Can wax eloquent on complex legal issues in English while also belting Guayaquil de mis amores in Spanish.
I speak French.
I can change a diaper with one hand and console a crying toddler with the other.
Well, it depends on what's in the diaper.
I am a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder.
Well, that's who you want in the CIA then.
I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise.
Wait a minute. You literally just checked about a half a dozen boxes.
I am a walking declaration.
You're a cisgendered by what the heck? I don't know.
A woman whose inflection does not rise at the end of her sentences.
You mean like Jen Psaki, the White House spokesperson?
Suggesting that a question has been asked. I did not sneak into CIA. My employment was not and is not
The rest of the world is laughing at us, I swear.
Result of a fluke or slip through the cracks. I earned my way in, and I earned my way up.
That's right. I didn't get a trophy for just participating.
The ranks of this organization.
I mean, not until I got here.
I am
My whole life was built on that before.
Educated, qualified, and competent. And sometimes I struggle. I struggle feeling like I could do you.
The CIA. Former President Donald Trump unveiled his much-awaited new social media platform. Actually, it's more of a website that you can retweet, which is fine. Here is the big announcement.
Those who supported him in the Senate to the trash heap of history.
Twitter permanently banning the commander-in-chief's personal account with 88 million...
Facebook, by the way, this week actually announced they would not let Trump back on.
...followers.
A beacon of freedom arises. A place to speak. I thought I'd just do the voiceover there. Rated R. No, it's not actually rated R. Pretty cool, actually. Hey, guys, coming up. Caitlyn Jenner is now running for governor of California, and her new ad totally kicks butt. Stick around. And we are so back. Make sure to check out the Newsmax Daily audio podcast with this guy. Just go to newsmaxtv.com/podcast for all the digital platforms. And my video channel is rumble.com, Rob Carson Show. Caitlyn Jenner is now running for governor of California. And as rife for satire as her potential candidacy is, if you're a constitutional conservative, this campaign ad kicks some major booty.
I came here with a dream 48 years ago to be the greatest athlete in the world. Now I enter a
Not very often you can go from a Wheaties box to a Victoria's Secret ad.
different kind of race, arguably my most important one yet, to save California.
Go get 'em!
I want to carry the torch for the parents who had to balance work and their child's education, for business owners who were forced to shut down, for pastors who were not able to be with their congregation.
In other words, I want to stop California from sucking so badly.
For the family who lost their home in a fire, for an entire generation of students who lost a year of education.
For God's sake, I'm better than the current governor.
This past year has redefined our career politicians as elitists and the people of California as the warriors, the kings, and the angels.
I love it. I absolutely do. California needs to be conservative regardless of what gender you are. Okay. Speaking of kicking some major booty, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is putting COVID-19 in the state's rearview mirror.
So now today I'm going to let the legislatures come up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign the bill.
Do it.
It's effective July 1st. I'll also sign an executive order.
You can even dance at a wedding reception.
Pursuant to that bill, invalidating all remaining local emergency COVID orders effective on July 1st. But then to bridge the gap between then and now, I'm going to suspend, under my executive power, the local emergency orders.
The local stupidity, in other words.
As it relates to COVID. I think that's the evidence-based thing to do. I think the fact...
Come on! I absolutely love it. If my wife would go for it, we'd move to Florida tomorrow, which would really bring down the property values. Dr. Fauci is refusing to give up any ground, and if the COVID fight was a baseball game, he says we haven't even reached the 7th inning stretch.
So we're in the late innings, but it's not over. That's the thing we really got to get people to appreciate. We're going in the right direction.
Do the beers still cost $9?
We're seeing the light at the end of the
baseball game
tunnel, but now's not a time to declare victory. It's a time to get more and more people vaccinated, just the way the president said today. We want to get to that goal. It's a doable goal, and I believe we'll get there.
So you think the 7th, the 8th inning, or late innings? What inning you're talking about?
How about the bottom of the 6th? Try that one.
There you go. Take me out to the vaccination center. Derek Chauvin's attorney has filed for a new trial for a number of reasons that might point to an unfair verdict, including juror number 52, Brandon Mitchell, who apparently fibbed just a little on his juror questionnaire.
It comes as a photo has surfaced showing one of the jurors wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and cap and attending a march in Washington during which members of George Floyd's family spoke. Here's ABC's Alex Perez tonight.
I'm saying that's kind of disqualify-y.
Of course, following the case from the start for us.
Tonight, Brandon Mitchell, one of 12 jurors who convicted former cop Derek Chauvin of killing George Floyd, is defending his impartiality as a juror after this picture.
It's not like I actually wore it to the courtroom.
Picture of him last August resurfaced online at the March on Washington commemorating Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, an event where George Floyd's family members...
They got to get rid of that Derek Chauvin is guilty hat.
...were among the speakers. Mitchell wearing a shirt with a picture of Dr. King and the words, "Get your knee off our necks," and BLM.
Which I believe Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd.
After the guilty verdict, Mitchell telling our Robin Roberts that video of Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck was key.
And then seeing the multiple angles of it from the body cams, from the other.
I thought it was so powerful, I put it on a shirt.
The other cell phones. It was probably the most important piece of evidence.
Mitchell, during jury selection, answered no when asked if he participated in demonstrations about police use of force. Mitchell told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune his attendance in D.C. was 100% not a march for George Floyd.
Even though I wore a shirt that was really talking about what happened to George Floyd and a hat for Black Lives Matter. Everything's fine. Just move along. Move along. This week, an awful woman went viral with her disgusting treatment of a Hispanic police officer in L.A. during a traffic stop. I wish this were an anomaly, but it's becoming all too common.
Why are you harassing me?
You're correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer.
Because
yes, I started to record.
Okay, that's not the best way to open a conversation with a police officer, is to call him a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
You.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
What's your apartment?
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly.
I'm thinking if you want to talk your way out of a ticket, this is the exact opposite thing you should do.
Left it at home.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
And can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
Good, because you're a murderer.
It's in your cell phone while you're driving. That's it. There you go, ma'am. Sign inside the red box right there.
For him being a Mexican racist. What is that name? Gas.
It's on the citation, man.
You are really digging yourself in a hole here, girl.
There you go, Mexican racist.
Wow.
You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? it'll never be white.
Wow, she has a really dark spot on her soul, and to think that she has a kid in the back seat. I hope the school that employs her, and by the way, she is a teacher, will consider whether she should stay employed. And then there's this. Officer Kevin Dingle shared an emotional video about the current state of policing and how cops everywhere are being abused. This is unbelievable.
I wake up every morning and kiss my family goodbye, knowing that there's a possibility I won't come home. I am tired of every time I wake up in the morning, there's someone else polarizing the fact that maybe law enforcement is just not a good thing. All of us are not bad. I am not as they are. Most of us are not. There are bad people in every career. I'm so tired.
It's time for this madness to stop. I would encourage your church, community group, or family, bring bagels to a local police station, or when you see an officer, just walk up and thank them for what they do. Enough is enough, honestly. Enough is enough. That's going to do it for this week of the show, guys. I greatly appreciate it. If you get a chance to check out the Newsmax Daily Audio Podcast, it's a really fun show. I do it every day during the week. Just go to newsmaxtv.com/podcasts, okay? Also, you can download the Newsmax app on your cellular telephonic device. It's easy to find. Then, of course, to find your favorite personalities on Newsmax and your favorite show, just go to newsmaxtv.com. God bless you guys. God bless our police. God bless America. I'll see you again next week. And in the meantime, don't catch the stupid.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.